There's so many different hazards in an alley. We have gas meters, we have electrical power lines, we have all kinds of things that are there that make it very difficult to pick up illegal dumping that's located there. Everything belongs inside of a proper container. That would be a dumpster or taken to a landfill. Beside a dumpster in a vacant lot, every bit of that is illegal. We can collect almost 3 times the amount in the front yard areas than we can in the alleys. We put a camera program in place that's been very successful, where we're actually monitoring some of the hot spots in town and catching some of those illegal dumpers as they're placing the items there. The citizens are starting to say, we've had enough too, and they're starting to report to us all of the things that they see. Our front yard collections have gone up 18% this year, and we know that our illegal dumping numbers have gone down by 13%.
We're accelerating. We're not in recovery mode anymore. We're in growth mode here in Amarillo, and that's exciting. We've had several announcements, probably upwards of 900 new jobs. The biggest challenge in Amarillo is workforce. Here we have one of the lowest unemployment rates in the country. And so, but there's several organizations that are partnering to do something about that. We're fortunate enough to have 5 school districts here. They all do a great job of workforce training. But especially now that Amarillo ISD has built AmTech. So one of our goals in these partnerships is to educate our children to fulfill this workforce need of this worker shortage, and to give them a skill and to give them the opportunity to make a great living here in Amarillo.
The key to all of this is education for the growth of Amarillo. When we set out to build AmTech, we weren't quite sure what it would be, but when we started talking to our community, when we started going out and asking them what they thought, we found out right away that we have a great need for skilled workforce. We need HVAC, plumbing, electrical, welding. We need all of these because in our community that is growing, unless we have the workforce to help it grow, to build out the places where we'll operate or where we'll live, there's no growth that's going to happen. The key to the development of our city is that our students who are prepared and are a ready and waiting workforce, they are going to attract businesses into our city for that kind of a symbiotic relationship that if you build it, they will come. That's what we're planning for our future here in Amarillo. Our goal is to ensure that every student is aware of the possibilities of his or her own future. There's not a single student who is going to escape us in helping them see their future and get to that future. The hopes and dreams of our students are the hopes and dreams of our city.
This year has been difficult, and we tried to make the most of the resources that we have. And so we identified the fact that we could not have people who were COVID positive going to testing on our vehicles. So what we worked with the public health department, and we then offered unique individual service that we take people to testing. If we needed to, we took them to quarantine. We worked with community development and transported homeless people to testing and quarantine. We identified a partnership with Area Agency on Aging and the Panhandle Independent Living Center, and we were able to increase the number of people over 60 and individuals with disabilities that we carry. One of the ways we've tried to maximize our access for the public is we've created a new route in the southeast sector of the city, and it's an on-call route, and it builds on the success of our Route 13 in the hospital district. The route has been very successful, and it still gets people downtown in 45 minutes. One of our challenges continues to be providing quality bus stops. There's challenges there because in a lot of places we don't have enough right-of-way. Every time we move a bus stop, we have to make it accessible. ADA requires that. The Americans with Disabilities Act requires accessibility for us to have our bus stops accessible. And what happens is that we have to invest in sidewalks before we can even invest in a shelter at a bus stop. We are really proud of the new shelters that we have out there now. There aren't as many as we'd like, and we will continue to look for resources to be able to invest in our bus stops. We're very proud of our bus drivers and our maintenance crew and our cleaning crew who've just done a fabulous job in keeping everybody safe.
We've been planning for the Civic Center for over 10 years now, studying what its needs are, what the future looks like. We know that the bond did not pass, but that doesn't stop the planning or that we need to address the issues that it's facing in order to improve our community. We are losing projects and revenue. We also don't have the facility that acts are looking for, concerts are looking for, whether it's the ceiling height, whether it's our technology. It's important for the entire city because it's such a large economic driver having convention and arena and civic center business. It increases hotel occupancy, sales tax, it increases people wanting to invest in businesses here, new employers. So it really all builds upon each other. This will help the Amarillo Economic Development Corporation recruit new employers because their employees want things to do. They don't want to travel to Dallas or Austin for events. They want them here locally where we can attend here. The P3 or public-private partnership is it's a newer idea, a newer concept of how do we fund these public buildings that also need a lot of funding from the private sector. So we've worked with Garfield Public-Private under a new contract to really investigate all our options. They're experts in how to finance projects, whether it's increasing revenue for revenue bonds, whether it's fundraising, philanthropy, selling box seats, those sorts of things, different stuff that we have not done at the Civic Center. A big topic right now for us is the housing shortage in Amarillo. We're also going to survey our employers so we know their employees, what's their housing need look like over the next 10, 20 years. The biggest role we play is making it an easy process to get through to a building permit. So whether you're platting and building a whole new subdivision or submitting housing plans for review, we want to make sure they don't struggle to get through that process. We've added new software called Tyler InterGov. It makes it a complete digital process for applications, for us to review plans, makes it more transparent so people can get online, see where their plan is in the process, where it is under review. Amarillo is probably one of those best kept secrets. It's one of those communities that we all know the name, we've heard it in songs, but until you've come here, spent some time here, the community is really so supportive. It makes you want to be a part of the community and be a part of the progress.
The airport has a much larger economic impact than anybody could possibly think. We were pretty fearful of what was going to happen because nobody had any clue. And, we were down about 95% of passenger traffic. Yeah, we needed extra federal funding to help us just pay payroll. We received about $7.6 million from the CARES Act, then another about $2.8 million from the CRISA Act, and then we're still on the hook to receive several more million from the ARPA Act. So it'll be about $15 million in total. Those funds can only be used for operational items. They can't be used for projects or anything like that, and we can't transfer money to the other city departments from the airport or anything like that. This June, we started at I think we exceeded 100% of our normal traffic. Most of our revenues started coming up pretty good. We're still low on some of them, like rental car companies and some of the restaurant revenues, because those things are dependent upon business traffic. But we've been able to survive, just using the grant money. We have a large taxiway project that's ongoing. We're replacing 2 of our taxiways that were really in bad shape. But we're going to be improving some of the land side projects, like our parking lots and things like that really are a customer-facing, project that will improve the customer experience.
I remember sitting in the first meeting when our public health director said, "We have our first case." And I remember in that instant knowing that the communication from the city was going to change immediately, fundamentally, in a lot of ways. There would have been, looking back, no way to predict how we were going to do that or what we needed to do. But the fact that we were able to switch gears so quickly to serve the public by giving them the information in new ways, I think speaks a lot to the way that the team was able to respond to new rules, new precautions, new limitations that we never saw coming. Communication is not about talking. Communication is about engaging, listening, hearing, like really hearing, and then responding. So we've worked really hard to create these avenues for the community to reach us and to say, these are things we need, or these are things we're not hearing. We're doing that through a very easy email address, publiccommunications@amarillo.gov. I read those emails every single day. We also kicked off a brand new newsletter digitally this year. The easiest way to subscribe to the newsletter is just to drop an email to publiccommunications@amarillo.gov. We've tried to make the website as easy as possible to navigate. Within 2 clicks, you can be on the budget page. Within 1 click, you can be on a contact page, which will give you phone numbers to every department. And each of those phone numbers goes to a person. That's the message that I want people to know, is that we work for you, we're here, and we're ready to respond to whatever information you need.